This is Ehsan Joarder, who's running for Congress in Florida in the 14th District. Ladies and gentlemen, Ehsan Joarder, he's running for Congress in Florida on the 14th District, and dun, 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 he's got conservative beliefs. What do you want to share with the audience right now, Ehsan?
I am America first entrepreneur that has a future in this country. I have 3 kids under 6, and I'm 34 years old, and I'm here to take back our country.
What motivated you? Now, your background is what?
My parents are from Bangladesh. My father is a cardiologist, retired, and my mother is a school teacher, also retired.
And what did you do before this goal? Or are you still doing it? What do you do for work
I'm an
right now?
entrepreneur. Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. The last full-time job position I held was I was the CEO of a medical lab down in South Florida. We started that during COVID because I got sick and tired of waiting on lines for COVID tests.
And you're not doing it anymore?
No, I sold the business about a year and a half ago, and then I moved to Tampa.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've had 4 businesses. I've not sold one of them. So obviously I shouldn't be a congressman, but he has sold his business. So he was doing something right. Okay. to sell the business and be able to do full-time running for Congress because you're motivated to make changes. I salute you for that. What is your base platform of things you want to do for the 14th District in Florida? This is important. You're going to share this to this district because it's important to you. So take it away.
So I'm going to go back to my thought process on what I do when I start a business, or if I'm purchasing a business, or I'm starting a business. The 3 things that I look at is how I'm going to acquire it, what I'm going to do once I acquire it, what can I improve, what can I make better, and then my exit plan. Any business that I touch, it has to either sustain itself and be self-sustaining, or I have to have an exit plan with it. And politics is I looked at this position and this political run exactly in the same exact way. I'm just an average American who happens to have had the resources and the
I gotta interject. You're not average, okay? Not too many people have sold a business and can do this full time to run for Congress. Okay. I just had to interject that because you're not an average person. Never play yourself down. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, I looked at this in the exact same in the exact same way that I look at businesses. I saw our country needs leadership that can turn this country around. Our country needs leadership that has fresh legs, who are able to fight, who has the values and the morals that will lead us to a better future for the generations to come. I have a stake in the future of this country. I have businesses in this country that are directly affected by the decisions that they make in Congress. But my kids have a future in this country. The assets and the businesses and anything that I leave behind for them is affected by the decisions that they make in Congress. So my decision to go into Congress was just that. I'm going to go into Congress. I'm going to turn the ship around. I'm going to rally behind 10 more candidates while I'm in office. I'm going to rally behind 10 more candidates, get them elected, and then pass the mantle on to them so I can leave this position and turn this ship around, and then be able to, come back to my normal life and live my normal life again.
Now,
and that's my exit plan.
Your exit plan is what out of Congress?
My exit plan is to get 10 more people elected who are America first, who are young, who have a future in this country, who think like I do, that can carry on the mantle once I leave Congress. And also, one of the things that I'm going to ask for those 10 congressmen that I rally for and try to bring on board is that each one of them pledge to bring in three more congressional candidates or congressmen behind them. So we have 30 people in Congress who think like I do, who are America first, who replaces the rhinos, who replaces the people that we don't want in office anymore. And then I can safely say that this country's turned around and it's headed to the right direction and not falling off a cliff in the next 20 years, 10 years.
So what's your exit plan out of Congress? Because you're going to get all kinds of people, special interests, lobbyists, buying your votes, because that's what they do right now in Senate and also in Congress. They set up they all do. They've got a re-election campaign fund. Coke gives you $1 million. I just did a short on this on YouTube. How are you not going to get seduced by the money and just stay until you're like Ted Kennedy or Dianne Feinstein?
Well, that's the exact reason why I'm actually running. One of my 3 top priorities in Congress is border security, immigration. I have my second is inflation, which also deals with out of control spending that we have, and term limits. Term limits being one of the top things that we need in place.
Hold the presses. Hold the presses. Okay. I asked everybody in the last election, and they were all saying they support term limits. I won't put any names out there, but they're still there. Okay. How are you going to be different? Are you going to like put it in like use a bloody thumbprint and sign that you're only going to stay for two terms, right? Term limits.
Let me put it to you this way.
Okay. I'm listening.
If I'm in Congress past 4 years, you guys need to go find me, because that's not me. That's a body double. All right. You're
going to just do one term. You're not going to do 2 terms?
2 terms. That's it. 2 terms.
Okay. Okay. I thought I heard 1 term. Go ahead.
Yeah. If I'm there past 2 terms, go find me, because that's not me.
All right? I will. Even if I'm in the desert without power.
I do not want to be a politician.
If I'm homeless because nobody gave me donations, I'm going to come knocking at your door. I'll be smelly, but I'm going to say, hey, wait a minute, Ehsan, wait a minute. And I'll do a video, Ehsan. Okay. Mark my words.
You're going to find me in Vail snowboarding is where you're going to find me.
All right. Nice. Well, that's not
where I'm going to be in 4 years. If I'm in Congress 4 years, we're in trouble. All right.
Yeah. I don't think you're going to be bringing me skiing, but because I won't have anything, but it's okay. I'm willing to, it's my cross to bear. So what are you doing right now to campaign to get the word out in the 14th? How big is the 14th district? How many people?
14th district is just around 800,000 people, just a little bit over 800,000 people.
That's a lot. How are you getting your word out to them?
So I'm solely focused right now on meeting people on in different meetings that I'm in. I'm doing a lot of events, local events, Republican Party events.
Are they is there a lot of people showing up to them?
There's a lot of different chapters of the Republican parties here. So I'm getting in with all of them, and then everybody that I speak with are very supportive of my campaign. But in order to reach that kind of demographics of people is very hard. And I need to do a lot more fundraising to be able to get my name out. Using the internet also is one of the big things that I'm focusing on. I'm doing a lot of I'm heavily focused on doing social media and Facebook and Instagram and X, and I started a TikTok account as well, but I don't really know how to TikTok.
Yeah, I got like 27,000 on TikTok. I'll hook you up. How can I say this? Your groups are how big when you're doing these events? You didn't answer that question.
The groups, they'll typically range from maybe 30 to 50 people usually.
Okay, so and you've got how many people you got to reach in the 14th district again?
In the primaries, in order to win, I'll need about 17,000 votes.
Okay, that's a lot. But I mean, how many people are you trying to reach again? How many 100,000 are in that district?
8, but just about 8. Every congressional district is split to like about 770,000 people.
Okay, so but let's round it up. 800,000 people.
Yeah, 800,000.
Do you know how many people voted in the 14th district in the last general?
The general was won by 170,000 votes.
So not a lot of people are voting, but you've got to get a big reach.
Right.
And you're dependent on money. How big is your war chest?
So my war chest is all self-funded. I have only raised probably about $10,000 in grassroots. But all the rest of it has been my own money. And
how much money? You can always say no comment to me. How much money have you spent?
About 25,000 so far.
25,000 of your own money to get in Congress.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, this is a dedicated person against all odds. This is a David and Goliath thing. I kind of feel the same way when I'm talking about Carrie Lake, trying to get people to understand that I don't think she's going to get elected. I'm pretty bold that way, but this isn't about me. It's about you. This interview is like your 5th interview. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so guys, I just learned of him from a space, on X, because I'm all diving into there trying to get, 5 million views to try to be able to afford the rent. This is a man that cares. He understands America first, border security, as well as your governor. He obviously understands border security. You're in a great state of Florida.
Yeah, the free state of Florida.
Everybody, I would say, and I can't prove this, but I would say 95% are sold out because they can legally do insider trading in the Senate and Congress. It's not allowed, it's shunned, but they do it and no one stops them. Nancy Pelosi, 900 million, go make sense out of that. So that's her coffers that she's doing for reelection campaigns. You don't need to spend your money on a reelection campaign. You can keep it for the rest of your lifetime and only take out the money when you need it and then pay 50% taxes on it. So what they do is they sit on those funds and they ride it out, and the greed keeps them in. They could take a break. Look at AOC. She was they're still trying to report on national media that she's got $44,000, and from what I'm seeing, she's got access to about 120 million. Since it's in the fund, the reelection fund, right, that she doesn't seem to need. I don't know how AOC got reelected, but since she doesn't need to report that as her income because it's in that fund. Do you see how they do it? That's why I think you're going to get tempted. Yeah, I know you're going to get tempted because the lobbyists are going to come after you because they want to vote, and they're doing that to everybody. So I'm going to pray for you that you don't sell out. I've seen many that have. I'm not saying you're going to do that, but we are driven by money. And how do you, by recruiting those 10, if you will, a squad, how long would your plan take to actually turn this government around? I don't think you can do it in a lifetime. I guess I'm kind of hopeless right now. What do you think?
Listen, here's the deal, right? With it, we can sit around and this is what we did. We would have weekly meetings over Zoom or group meetings with my business partners, my brothers, and we sat around and talked about how bad the government was, or how bad this whole political system is. How there's a two-tier justice system. On one side you can get away with doing whatever you want to do. On the other side, you could not do anything and still get end up in jail.
It's the Democrats, okay? I don't know why you're not saying it out loud, but it's the Democrats. They get all the breaks. Go ahead.
Exactly. You know how to fill in those lines. You know what I'm talking about. But on the other hand, it's like if you don't have the money to be able to fight these cases, but a lot of these people from January 6th, for example, they've taken plea bargains because they couldn't afford to keep the money flowing for their attorneys. So it's a matter of whoever has the most money can win.
I got to interject on that. They're not trying to save the lawyers or pay the lawyers or save the lawyers money. What they do is they charge you with something like, I'm going to exaggerate. They charge you with something that's a much worse charge, and then they give you another charge, a smaller charge. So you're like, okay, I'll just plead out because I don't want to take a chance, especially in a DC court, for getting a break. Look at what they do in Bannon. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's just outrageous what they're doing. Right. I mean, thank God Roger Stone, who I consider a personal friend, got a pardon from President Trump. And we both know what Hunter's going to get when Biden is either staying in or he's not staying in. I know that's terrifying to say, but the way things are looking and the fact that gas prices are staying up and everything, they usually drop the gas prices. Why are the oil lobbyists still getting greased from the federal government in an election year? It's like one of those things that make me nervous. Like they know something that we don't know. Yeah. But I want to do whatever I can to support you in getting in. If I can, you let me know. This interview is just a start, my friend, and you're real, and that's what I value.
Yeah, none of this is scripted. This is all just me talking, And
no, I know, and what I'm saying, I finished my thought. I get emotional about it because there's so few people that are just real, and there's so many people that have appeared to be real that have disappointed me. So I have to admit, I look at everything in a critical light, just because it's my life experience, and I really hope that you don't get tempted by the money that's going to be thrown out at you if you get elected, because it's going to happen.
Listen, I'm not tempted by money. I'm tempted by my country. I'm tempted by the future of my kids. Because it doesn't matter how much money I leave my kids. If the money's not worth anything, the country is ruined. That doesn't mean anything. I'm not the kind of guy who's going to be like, oh, what country can I go to? Oh, Tokyo. I'm not that guy. I'm American. I like my rights. Yeah, my business is here. I'm going to fight for this country till I die. And that's who I am.
God bless America. God bless America.
God bless America and America only, baby.
Yeah. Is there anything, I mean, of course you're going to share how they can connect to you. Is there anything else you want to share as a final point before you give us how they follow you and support you?
The final point is, this all started for me it was just like this. I was having conversations, weekly meetings with my business partners, my brothers. And, the topic of the all the conclusions of these meetings came down to, what can we do? There's nothing that we can do. We're all helpless. We're all holding our hands. Like, what can we do? We can't do anything. Even the guys who are multi-billionaires are getting hammered by the left. So one of the ideas that we came up with on our, I guess, a think tank, you can say, was we're going to call our congressmen and we're going to hold them accountable. And as I started calling these congressmen who are supposed to be your mouthpiece in the federal government, congressmen are supposed to be your mouthpiece in the federal government. You know what I mean? They're supposed to represent the middle class, the civilians, the normal average Americans. That's who they're supposed to represent in the federal government. So how are you supposed to do that? How are you supposed to fulfill that job, that duty that you have of representing the middle class Americans when you don't even have no clue of where they live or how they live or what their real problems are in their lives? I mean, I couldn't even get a hold of this lady. For a week straight, I was calling her, and I'm a business owner. I'm a person who has multiple people that work for me, assistants, secretaries, people, and I couldn't get a hold of her. So I asked my assistant actually sent me an email, telling me sharing with me that she had a public event coming up. So I went to the event and I tried to confront her for in this event, and I couldn't even get through to her. They stopped me before I can get to her. They kicked me out of the event, and as I was leaving, I looked at her and she looked at me with locked eyes. And I was like, I'm coming for your job, and I got on my motorcycle and I took off really fast. I was trying to pop a wheelie, but the front wheel it wasn't that good.
Wait a minute. With that comment, how old are you?
I'm 34.
34. Go ahead.
So I tried to, the front wheel didn't come up, but I took off really fast and it was really loud. It was really cool. So at that point, my venture started to. I started shifting my energy into looking for for candidates that might possibly be able to dethrone this woman from coming from her seat who's been there for 18 years.
Right.
So she's literally the Nancy Pelosi of our side. If I had a choice of running against anybody else, it would be Nancy Pelosi, but I'm not in California, so I can't do that.
Be careful. She's really smart. I mean, she's evil. She's evil, but think about how long
$90 million a year off of trading. So you gotta be
think
smart.
about how long she's been in there. She knows where the bodies are buried. She ain't going nowhere. You don't want to go up against her. Seriously.
Yeah.
If I tell people if I go dark, I didn't kill myself because I went through some depression. But this isn't about me. Go ahead.
I'm not suicidal. I love my life. Life is great.
Yeah. He wants to live. I want to live. Just for the record. Go ahead.
So I started looking into the candidacy, and one of the things that I realized is that the candidates that are running in this race, none of them have a chance in beating her. None of them, every single one of them are exactly what I would not want to support. I mean, they're neocons, they're rhinos. One of them are retired. One of them have a revoked medical license because she was part of this pill mill operation.
I've heard about that. I've heard about that.
You know what I mean? So I'm like,
yep.
What candidate am I going to put my money behind to be like, excuse me, what candidate can I put my money behind that I can be like, all right, this person's going to win? I didn't see that candidate at all. And looking at the race, we were all, talking about this. And one of my friends was like, there's nobody else that I would rather vote for than you. You're the candidate that we're looking for, and they're not in there. They're not in this race. Then they're like, you should run. And I was like, so at that point, I asked my assistant, I was like, I need you to look into what is required to qualify as a candidate. So we looked into that, and I was I qualified pretty easily, no problem. And then we looked at the finances and what it would cost me personally to be able to, even bid a run, even have a run at this. And if I was able to. So my business partners at that time were all, supportive of it, and they were allowing me to take a back seat and kind of focus on this while they take care of business and operating everything. And that's how this whole candidacy started.
So you sold your business after you decided to run for Congress?
No, that was before. I sold the lab beforehand, and I was, I still have businesses that I currently own.
Oh, so okay, so you do have businesses that you still currently own. How many people work for you?
Right now about 30 to 40 people that work for me.
Wait a minute, you're 33 years old?
Yes. 34.
Dude, I'm pretty impressed. 34. I'm pretty impressed you got that many people working for you, and that you're personally spending. How much have you spent so far of your personal money?
About 25,000.
Okay, guys. He means it. He means it. We need more young people like this that are willing to spend their own money, step out of their business like President Trump does, and serve the people. He's going to serve the 14th district. If you're listening, if you're watching this interview because he's a congressional candidate in your district, think about that. He's willing to sacrifice. He wants to bring other people into Congress. He wants to make changes, and he's committing to no term limit. So you got my endorsement, my friend.
Well, thank you. Not only that, also, I'm a big snowboarder. So wintertime, since I've sold my, the lab business, I kind of, I was like under the impression that I'm going to coast for a little bit, hang out with the family, do a little snowboarding. So I had 13 different trips booked this season, and I had to cancel every single one of them because of this candidacy.
Okay, well, you're sounding pretty well off. How are you not going to get tempted by these donations, huh? You're used to the money.
Yeah, but I'm
not doing any vacations right now. You know what I mean? You're obviously pretty well off. So your focus has been money, right? Obviously, you're a smart businessman. You got great intention. Yep. But when they start to want to grease you with like $500,000 for a vote, you're going to say no?
Absolutely, because that everything comes with the price tag, and
we're going to check your finances.
Okay.
All right.
I'm all open books, man.
All right. I'm just saying we're going to hold you accountable for these comments that you're making.
I will sign a pledge.
I'm tired of politicians just lying. I'm tired of it. If I'm still doing this until I'm dead, which is the plan, I'm going to call everybody into account when they do interviews with me, which means a lot of people probably won't do interviews with me because they don't want to commit. But you're committing. I believe you. I want you to get elected. I hope this interview helps you. Mark shared Mark Lamb shared my interview that I did with him to 130,000 people on his email list, and it says I got 0 views. So they're hiding the views. So know when you see this video and there's 200 views on it, there's a lot more than that. They're just trying to squeeze me out so I can't afford to do this, which unfortunately are being successful right now. Time will tell. But again, sorry, I started talking about myself too much. Vote for this man. Tell him how to contact you and how to support you.
You can my cell phone number is public, which is 561.
You're going to do your cell phone number public? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm telling you, this is going to a lot of people. It might blow.
This is why I'm running, because I can't get a hold of my congresswoman.
But just a heads up.
To get hold of me.
Just a heads up. I had 15,000 people, right, when I did that video of the buses coming in, which everybody knows me for, on January 20, 2021. I had 760 text messages when I got back to the hotel within a half an hour. So just a heads up. I think you're going to reach more people than I did on that live stream. Go ahead. If you want to say your number, I warned you. Go ahead.
561-860-0357. There you go.
Do not fake text him, Democrats, to try to distract him off of other things. Don't you do it. He only wants to hear from the 14th district. That's who he's representing. Yep. He'll deal with the national level when he's bringing everybody else in. But if he's a good congressman, he's going to focus on you, 14th district. He's not going to be doing AOC, trying to do national politics, which she should just stay to her district. But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, my website's jorderforcongress.com. So
repeat that again.
You can see me on my website, jorderforcongress.com. I keep it very updated. I have a team that works on it, so you can reach me on there as well. It's info@jorderforcongress.com for email, and you can shoot me a text. You can call me. I take phone calls from all the constituents from in my district, so I'm open to you.
Repeat the domain name slowly again and spell Jordan.
Joarder, JOARDER 4FOR Congress.com.
Boy, I'm glad I asked because I wasn't even going to spell it that way. And I put it below on the bottom of this interview as a super so you guys can see his domain. And there's also going to be a link in the description. This is the kind of support you get with MustangMedic when I like a candidate. Okay. Close. I guess now we're back to the closing statements. Hopefully they didn't turn off the interview when I said that last time. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I just want you guys to know that I'm in this race because I need to save my country. I need to save our country. I am deadly afraid of the results of failed leadership for the past 20 years. Frankly, the past 20 years we have failed real leadership in this country. $29 trillion of the 35 that we have in Congress in our deficit now came in the past 20 years, and this ship needs to be turned around. And that's exactly what I plan on doing. I plan on turning this ship around and putting in term limits in place So that whole lobbying game that they play with, forever politicians that die in Congress and Senate, literally in their position. The Congress and Senate is like the only job that people actually die in. You never retire from it. That's insanity to me. Our founding fathers were all in their 20s. What happened to that?
That's a great point.
Our founding fathers right now will be revolting to this, this atrocious government that we have.
Absolutely.
Right now. There's no way that they would even allow this to happen. We can't. There's no creature or animal or any other species on Earth that lets the most senile, incompetent old person lead them. It's not
so true.
Nothing works that way.
It's so true.
You can see the direct result of that. We need fresh legs in all of our government, presidency, senators, congressmen, everybody that's leading us needs to be warriors. We need to go back to that. If you and I disagree with something, we can duke it out. Let's go. I'll throw on the gloves with any one of these congressmen. So let's go. If you disagree,
and you'll be popping wheelies too on your bike.
Yeah,
right?
I'll be popping wheel. I'll pop a wheelie on my way there with the gloves on in hand. Let's go.
Keep it safe. We don't want you to get hurt. You got to keep you got to keep all your limbs right now while you're doing this. Ladies and gentlemen, vote for this man, 14th district, because it only matters about the district right now. When you're running for Congress, it's the district that's going to get you in. It's not national politics. Don't do the national politics thing that Carrie Lake does. That's another story. And wait for the video. She won't do an interview with me. But vote for this man. Pronounce your name again, because you know how good I am with names.
Ehsan Joarder.
Ehsan Joarder, ladies and gentlemen, yes, for the 14th district of Florida. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Well, there you have it. He's real. He's real. Thank you for watching the whole video. If you're seeing this, I know you did. Know that you're appreciated. God bless.